So good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I think let the other people join, but we will start the session. Let them join at a later time. So welcome to today's session for Ticket to Corporate. Today we have one industry expert, Zainab Nomi. She has very good experience in machine learning, and right now she's working with Tata Consultancy Services. So she would be sharing her knowledge, her experience about the interview questions. So as per our normal pattern, she would be asking a few questions she will put up the questions, and you people have to answer one by one. And in the finally, she will summarize the answer, and like whatever is your understanding, she will rectify it, and she will explain in her own way. So that way, we will continue. So, thank you, Jana, for taking out time from your busy schedule, and even at a very short notice. I'm really grateful for you. Thanks, Jana. I think this session would be useful for each and every participant, and it will help them to crack the interviews in the coming time. So over to you, Zainab.
Hello everyone. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity. So I think we can start with the questions if everybody has joined.
Yes, Zainab, we can start now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the first one. I think the screen is already shared. So should I share my screen for the questions?
I think, Zainab, you have to share it because this is only the front screen. You have to share the slide. Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's start with the first question. So what is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning? So this is the most basic question, I guess, which is asked in interviews. So over to you guys.
Madam, in supervised learning, we have a labeled data, but in supervised learning, we don't have a labeled data.
Unsupervised learning, we do not have a
labeled data, yeah.
Also, when in supervised, we have a kind of feedback mechanism, but in case of unsupervised, there is no feedback mechanism as such.
Okay.
We can also say that in supervised learning, we have a targeted column as the classification.
Output column, right?
Yeah, output column. And the in unsupervised, we have the column in a discrete value.
Okay.
The
supervised learning have much more resources intensive because of the need for label data.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Supervised learning have much more resources intensive because of the need for label data. Supervised learning को हम लोग मिल सकता है जो लेबल डाटा में हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं.
So label data is we have a output also, so it is useful for when we have a label data, but in case of unsupervised learning. And what do you think, what is the in real time, do we have a supervised model or an unsupervised model, which is the majority model?
In real time, ma'am, we have unsupervised models.
Yeah, right. So can you give me some examples of supervised and unsupervised learning? Like which algorithms are like supervised learning? Under that, which algorithms we can use?
When in supervised learning, we have decision trees, logistics, SVMs, and in case of unsupervised, we have.
Yeah.
K
And in
clustering.
unsupervised, we have k-means clustering and all that, right?
Exactly.
DB scan hierarchical.
Okay, yeah, I think we've summarized most of the part. So supervised learning is used when we have labeled data and want to predict the output for new input data. While unsupervised learning is used when we do not have labeled data and want to find hidden patterns and relationships within the data, right? So that's it. If anything else?
No, ma'am. I guess.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so how does k-means clustering work? See, I know k-means clustering is unsupervised learning, but do you guys know the mechanism of how that works?
I can try. K-means clustering. First we in the scatter plot.
Sorry?
K-means clustering is a method of vector quantization.
Of, sorry?
Is a method of vector quantization.
Vector quantization.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, no, I just want to know that if given a data set, right? And you want to apply a k-means clustering on that. But tell me how you will start that, right? So how does that start? Like if you want to have the k-means clustering now, if you want see, you know that in k-means clustering, you'll have to give some amount k, like, right? So how do you determine that? So there must be some algorithms or some methods to devise that this is the ideal k. You have to specify how many clusters you want to make, right?
We can use elbow method for that and
Right.
gap statistics method.
Yeah. And so I think the Silhouette method is also
Silhouette method formula. I
yeah,
guess.
right. Okay. And okay, so I just wanted the steps of how the k-means clustering starts. So anybody?
So
Basic.
first it will take an centroid at a
Yeah.
random point. Then it will measure the distance to all the data points
Right.
and tries to cover the maximum data points. If it's cover, then it's moved to the second centroid. Then it will do the same process again and again until or unless all the data points are covered.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So first of all, we choose the number of clusters. So that is the first step, of course. So for that, we can use elbow method or Silhouette method, whatever is there. Okay. Then we want we want to initialize k points randomly, call the cluster centroids as mentioned by you. Then we assign each data point to the nearest centroid based on the Euclidean distance between the data point and the centroid. Okay. So this step creates k clusters for us, right? Now we need to recalculate the centroid for each cluster by taking the mean of all the data points in that cluster. Okay. And we repeat, so we keep on changing the centroid, and then we keep on changing the clusters unless and until the centroid does not change or the maximum number of iteration is reached. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so also the algorithm tries to minimize the sum of square distances between each data point and its assigned centroid, which is very normal. So we want that the clusters have to be very distinct or defined, right? And k-means clustering can be used in various applications such as image segmentation, customer segmentation, and anomaly detection. Okay. Okay, so if that's clear, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so how linear regression is different from logistic regression?
So basically, madam, in linear regression, like continuous value is there.
Right.
Right, but in logistic regression, we can solve the classification problem like yes, no,
Correct.
true, false, like that.
Correct. Very right.
And there is also one difference or a similarity, I can say that in both the regressions, we use the best fit line, which is y equals to mx plus c.
Okay. Yeah.
In logistic regression, what we do, we pass that best fit line to our sigmoid function,
Mm-hmm.
1
Right.
upon 1 plus e to the power minus x.
Hmm.
Then based on that, we get the values. We get the values lies between 0 to 1. And if the value is above 0.5, then it considered to be a 1.
Mm-hmm.
And if the value is lower than 0.5, then it's considered to be a 0.
Correct. Right. Okay. Anything else?
No,
Okay. So what is the output range for linear regression and logistic regression?
so output will be in linear regression, it will be
Okay.
the continuous.
Continuous.
Yes, and in the logistic regression, it will be the discrete, or I can say that
Discrete.
binary
And what about the cost function?
cost function.
Madam, predicted value minus actual value. That is the cost function. I think difference between the predicted value or actual value, madam. We have to reduce the loss.
Actually, in linear regression, it's like mean squared
In
error.
linear regression, it's mean square error or root mean square error, or you
Squared.
can go with the R square matrix also, R square value also,
Correct.
which is between 1 and -1.
Right. And in logistic regression, the cost function will be
Cost function will be the log value of that p log base 2
Yeah.
something like that, and p
Mhm.
1 minus p log base 2.
Correct. So yeah, I think we've covered all the points. So in summary, linear regression is used to model the relationship between a continuous dependent variable and one or more independent variables, while logistic regression is used for binary classification problems where the dependent variable is categorical, right?
Yes.
And linear regression predicts continuous values, while logistic regression predicts the probability of a binary outcome. Is that right? So let's move on to the next question then. Okay. What are the activation functions in neural network and how they differ from each other?
So there are certain activation functions used inside the neural network. One is sigmoid function, which
Right.
is which is just nothing but the e raised to power of the prediction variable upon 1 minus e raised to power the prediction variable or the target variable, you can say. One is the tanh function, ReLU, sorry, not tanh, ReLU. One is rectilinear ReLU, and
Leaky ReLU
Leaky
leaky
value.
ReLU also, yeah, and
and TANH.
tanh, yeah, tanh.
Hyperbolic TANH. Okay, and can you just elaborate on all of them? One more we have. We've got softmax also.
Yeah,
But
softmax.
so can you elaborate on that? Like what is sigmoid function?
So sigmoid activation function is nothing but it's an activation function which ranges between -1 and 1. Okay, the tanh function
0 to -1.
Zero
Oh,
and
0 to
1.
1.
0
0
to
to
1,
1. 0 to
0 to
1.
1, 0 to 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and tanh function minus it's range between I think -1 to 1.
Right.
Yeah, and ReLU function is for it is up to 0 at a certain value, and then it becomes 1 at after 0. Yeah, so behind the, if the value is negative, then it will be always 0, but when the value is positive, then it has a unit value over there. The
Unit
ReLU
value in the
function
sense the input value.
1 1, yeah,
The input value.
same y equal to y equal to mx. Yeah.
Okay, and when we talk about leaky ReLU, what is the leaky ReLU?
No idea.
Okay. So let's complete the sigmoid, ReLU, and tanh, and then we'll move to leaky ReLU and softmax, right? So and what else about sigmoid function? Where is it
Sig-
used?
sigmoid function can be used in many situations, like
It is
m-
commonly used in binary
commonly it is commonly used in binary also,
Mhm.
but in multiple also commonly used in binary. Majoritarily it is used, the sigmoid
Mhm.
function.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we can use that function in others also, like, in multiple also it can be used during
Right.
the deep learning, when we are creating the dense layer during the neural network and all.
Correct.
So it can be used between that also. So we cannot say that it is only for the binary thing. It can be used. It is majoritarily used for binary, but
Yes.
yeah, can be used for multi-class also.
Right. Okay. And the function has a smooth curve and is differentiable, which makes it easier to back propagate. Right. So what is the problem with sigmoid function?
We have
Sigmoid
zero-centered curve.
sigmoid activation function is little slow. Okay. And the one thing is, I don't remember. I'm
It's
not able to
vanishing
remember that,
gradients, right?
but
Vanishing
it has
gradient descent.
vanishing gradient descent.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're done with sigmoid, I think. Let's talk about ReLU then. So is ReLU computationally efficient? Well,
Yes,
of course, better than sigmoid, right?
yes.
Okay. And what is the problem with ReLU?
Because the maximum value will be the 0. It
The
cannot,
max.
it will not give the values in -1.
So that's
Lower than 0.
that's where a dying ReLU problem arises. Okay. So basically, the gradient becomes 0 for negative input values, leading to the inability of the neuron to learn, right? So for this problem, we have come up with leaky ReLU. So what leaky ReLU is, it is similar to ReLU, but introduces a small slope for negative input values to prevent the dying ReLU problem. Okay, it has been shown to improve the performance of the deep neural networks. All right, so are we clear there? Then we
Yes.
have the hyperbolic tangent, tangent, which is tanh. So as mentioned earlier, it ranges between -1 and 1. It is very similar to sigmoid function, but centered around 0, right? So it's and where is it used? Like, where do you use tanh?
Classification problem, madam, between two classes.
Yeah. Between, it's basically used in hidden layers of the neural networks. That's the most part. And tanh, like ReLU, can suffer with the vanishing gradient problem. Okay, so let's talk about softmax function. Anybody, some inputs there? So you've worked with neural networks, right?
Yes, we worked with, but the theory part is
What do you use in the output layer?
in the last output layer we use Sauter's function or the sigmoid function.
Which function did you say? Softmax, right?
Right. We most of the time we use Sauter's function.
That's what. So softmax function is commonly used for the output layer of neural networks for multi-class classification problems.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
And it maps the input values to a probability distribution over multiple classes, ensuring that the sum of probabilities for all classes is equal to 1. So basically, it takes care of that, of the probabilities. So of course, each activation function has its advantages and disadvantages. So we have to, figure out which one to use. Okay. So if we are done there, let's move to the next question. Okay. How to address overfitting in neural networks? So let's start with what is overfitting. I'm very sure that you all must be aware of overfitting problems. So
Yes, we have. Okay. So overfitting is a problem where the model tries to learn everything and becomes too complex.
too complex.
Too complex, like the model is
See, overfit, like in the most simplest words, how can you explain overfitting?
Madam, model perform better in a training part, but not perform in a testing part.
Correct. That's right. So it has learned from the training data so much so that it cannot give good results on the new data, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
that's the overfitting problem. So okay, now if your model is an overfit one, right? So how do you go ahead with it? How do you make changes to your model so that this overfitting does not happen? So that those techniques we want to talk about.
In neural network.
Yeah, so you have got an overfit model, and you want to make changes so that that overfitting is prevented. So what
So,
measures can you take?
so to avoid overfitting, first the thing is the data set should be large. Okay.
Right.
If the data set is very small, the overfitting
Mhm.
problem can be there. Okay.
Yeah.
And the main thing is overfitting also comes if the model is too simple. Model is too simple.
Uh-huh.
Some
Uh,
yeah,
I think
overfit.
you sorry,
Yeah.
okay, just when you have a simple model, then how can you overfit on a data? Like the model has to be a very complex one so that it can only understand those things, right? Like if you think logically, if it is an overfit model, that means it has learned so much, it has grasped so much from the data that it is not ready to unlearn things, kind of, right? So we have to simplify the model.
Feature engineering, madam, through feature engineering, feature selections.
Yeah,
We have to select right features basically.
correct.
And we have to reduce like which feature are not important.
I think like if we yeah feature engineering is correct. Yeah, but when you're talking about which features are not important, right? You have to eliminate that, correct?
So we can use dropout as well.
Okay.
Yes, and there is a one also.
Cross validation.
We can also use early stopping.
Right.
That if
So
the
can you
model
explain
tries.
what is early stopping?
Early stopping is like that if we suppose that if we we can say yeah, if we give the epoch of 100 epochs,
Yeah.
and after 40th epoch the validation accuracy is not increasing.
Starts to increase.
Oh, validation increasing, but the loss is not decreasing, and it's there.
See, if the validation loss starts to increase, that's when you get it that the model is approaching overfitting, right? So we need to stop there.
Right.
Okay. Okay. And what else? Increase the data. Good. Then we need to simplify the model. What else can be done? Early stopping is an option. Then there are regularization techniques, right?
Yes.
We have got L1 regularization and L2 regularization. Okay, I think uh, and the next thing is data augmentation. Okay, what is data augmentation?
So I can say the data augmentation is like that based on the previous data, it will create new data.
Right. So
So
basically, we need to increase the data,
increase
right?
the amount of the data so that the model can perform well.
Right. And about these regularization techniques, I would recommend that just read about it. There are two types of regularizations, L1 and L2, which are the most commonly used ones. So basically, what happens, you try to regularize the model in a sense that once you have predicted something, then you go back and then you go back and forth, and so that the model is not overfit, right? So I think you should read about that also. Okay, so we're done there. Let's go to the last question. What is the bias and variance of the model? Okay, this is a very basic one. I know you all know about it. So let's just.
Variance means how much spread of the data from the mean value.
Okay.
And the bias means the value by which the predicting value, the predicting value is different from the actual value. How
Correct.
much the predicting value is different from the actual value. That is the called bias.
Right. So what is the most desired part? Like, do we want a high bias or a low bias or high variance, low variance?
So we can say that where the variance is low and the bias is also low.
Mm-hmm.
That is where we get the actual
The most appropriate one.
most appropriate one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so why does variance occur?
It depends on the data points, right?
Right. So
That
if we have a lot of noise in
bias in the data, or if we can say we have a lot of too much noise in the data, so
right.
where the variance is going to be very high in that case.
And there's one more thing, that when the model is very complex, same thing when overfitting occurs for the same reason.
Right.
So this can happen when the model is too complex or the training data is too noisy, right? The variance can occur.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's it.
So any question from anybody? I think this overfitting question is quite common, and you should be very much clear. At least this regularization part, L1, L2 regularization, or the L1 regulation that we also call as lasso regression, and L2 regulation as ridge regression. So these things you should be very clear. I think still there are some unclarity about their definition or how does they work, right?
Yes, sir, sometimes.
Or is it clear to everyone?
Not clear, sir. Lasso and ridge regression not clear. So little bit clear, but not.
So,
much.
the problem is in regularization part. Otherwise, the overfitting, I guess I understand it now. The problem is in regularization part. So if you could please elaborate on regularization part, that would be great.
Maybe can you like explain little more about, like repeat the thing so that they can become more clear about L1 regulation and L2 regulation?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, to you.
Okay, so basically in L1 regularization and in L2 regularization, we have got some for every okay, for sigmoid function also we have a equation, right? Likewise, we have the equations for L1 and L2 also. I'm not very I'm not in touch with L1 and L2. So just a minute.
No issue. So we have to, like, this is because already we have covered multiple times this L1, L2. And what was the situation in your sessions? Were like when you had attended your course, it was not covered properly, or why like you people are not clear about it?
Sir, actually we have not much more practice, and हम लोग भी थोड़ा नया है इस बैकग्राउंड से, आईटी बैकग्राउंड नहीं है हमारा, तो समझने के लिए भी थोड़ा दिक्कत हुआ था
नो,
पढ़ाने के
इसमें तो
टाइम।
आईटी का लाइक आईटी का इसमें तो कोई जरूरत नहीं है ना। दिस इज द सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट, ओके। तो इसमें आईटी की जरूरत नहीं है, दिस इज सिंपल लॉजिक। हाँ, मैथमेटिकली कुछ हो सकता है, बट नॉट रिलेटेड टू आईटी।
सर
Okay. What we will do, I will explain you this part to you, because I have something to some other engagement. I cannot take this question right now, so I have to go. So tomorrow we will tomorrow should we have a session? What do you think? Tomorrow should we have some this session, or you want to study a little bit more?
We need session, sir.
Okay, so tomorrow
I
we'll
need
take
some
one
extra
session. And one more thing we want to do, like anybody has to discuss their project. Okay, this exercise we have to start, so that how well you can explain your project that you was done. That is very important. So probably we can share a schedule, and each and everyone has to fill that schedule, that which day who will explain their project. That is important. And from tomorrow we would also be collecting your CVs, so that we can send you the JDs according to your your resume, and you should start applying for that. Okay.
सर
Yeah. So
Okay,
I think we can it is little early, but it is fine. Like you can continue your studies. We will continue tomorrow with the this L1 L2 regulation, and we can discuss more. So Zainab, if you have some more tips that you can quickly want to share with all the participants for the interview, because these people are going to face interviews very soon. And one more thing that I have observed, like Janab, this thing, and everybody has to notice this part, that the same question, if somebody is asking, mostly the answer, the particular answer is same, but the way you explain it can differ. So it is very important. You should also understand the mentality, or the kind of breadth and the depth of knowledge of the interviewer, that what kind of answer you have to give. Okay, how deep or how explanatory answer you have to give. The minimum exact answer that is required, that is important to give. What the supporting statement that you have to make, that if you give properly, probably there the chance of getting to the next step will be higher. That is my feeling after like interacting with so many people. So that thing also you have to keep in mind. Janam, anything else you want to add for the like interview tips?
Sir, so I would suggest that see, AI is a pretty new technology. So what happens that interviewers don't really I think they want the examples, right? So if you're giving some interviewers might ask, because I have been asked this question. So they'll ask you questions like, how do you explain machine learning to a 4-year-old kid? And when you're facing the interview, at that time you're just lost. That how do you answer this question? Because you can't just say, like, if I'm asking you, you all, that you have to explain machine learning to a 4-year-old kid, what will be your answer? Okay, so you must have different, like, examples, I would say, for every aspect of the machine learning. So once in the interview, I was asked, what is gradient descent. How would you explain gradient descent, if anyone? Okay, so gradient descent, so for me, I explained it in a way that when you have a very big sheet and you're putting a heavy ball into it, and you want that the same thing how Einstein had explained this, right? I think you must be aware of the space time, the variance of space and time. Like space is not constant when time is. I think you guys know about this, right? So, right, like those examples, you can just give them those examples that the gradient descent, it will descend like in a it's a curve and all those things. So I think you should prepare it in a way. You should be very confident while speaking about it, so that the interviewer has confidence on you. And I would suggest that once in my interview I have done this mistake that a lot of people say that um, when you don't know something, just say that you don't know, right? So what happens that in like you just abruptly say no, and after like 2-3 seconds you will come to like you will realize ki, oh, I knew this, right? So I would suggest that just don't get intrigued by the interviewer. Whatever he's asking, just take like you can even ask the interviewer to give you 2 minutes to think about it. They are not they are not getting any negative sense from you. If you say that, you just have to say, okay, I need a moment to grasp it, I need a moment to construct it. It's completely fine, and they will wait for you. So just have that in mind, that the interviewer is not somebody who's your enemy or something. They are just your friends. They are here to help you, and I think everything will be good.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Janab. I think this is very important point that you have mentioned. All you should keep in mind that just by giving the definition or explaining the question, that is good. But if you can give some analogy along with the explanation, that would give a very good confidence for
The
the
interviewer.
interviewer that you really know the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gaurav, this is my question to you. Like whenever we ask any question, you give very pretty, very beautiful definition. But I don't know how much you can feel that thing, because whatever you are speaking, feeling is very important. That you really mean it, what you are saying, or it is just a bookish like language or the definition you're telling. So Gaurav, I
Yeah.
feel that you understand the things, but please do like this. You should also double check. Anyway, I will interact more with you people, because while checking your project, when you would be explaining the project, we would be asking you a lot of questions, that why this particular step was taken by you, what was the thought process. So these things would be asked. So Gaurav, quickly, can you give a comment over whatever I said?
Okay, so as you said, I'll try to work on that. And apart from this, whatever I say, like whatever the definitions I have, and I first of all I read it, then I implemented it. That's why I can say it. Uh, way. That's
Yeah.
the only way. That's
Yeah,
all.
okay, okay. So, Gaurav, nothing to take it negatively, but
No,
I
no,
would like
I'm
to
not
say,
taking it.
like you just think yourself, like you really, because during the interview they will not just listen to your question or the to your explanation or the definition. They will again cross question you, that why do you say like this? If this is the situation or that is the situation, they will multiple cross questions, and that time you should be able to explain, because that time your bookish language or that particular language will not work.
Will not
But
work,
what you
right?
have understood, that you have to communicate to them, right?
Okay, okay.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
this is like
Janab madam,
Yes.
I have a
Try to work on.
I have one very small question.
Sure.
Because in basically in supervised learning, like we have a label data, right?
Right.
And when we give new data, our model should predict.
Right.
Then we can say accuracy is very good, right?
Yeah.
Like बच्चे को जब हम सिखाते हैं, बच्चे को सिखाने के बाद में जो उसका टेस्ट लेते हैं, तो वो जवाब दे पाता है कि नहीं दे पाता है मीन्स वो अच्छे तरीके से लर्न किया है, नहीं दे
Right.
पाता है इट्स मीन्स एरर है, राइट।
हम्म।
तो इन अनसुपरवाइज लर्निंग हमारे पास लेबल डेटा नहीं होता है, वी डोंट हैव ए लेबल डेटा, राइट। सो
Yeah.
हमने बहुत सारा डाटा कलेक्ट किया, बट आई
हाँ।
थिंक कलेक्शन के बाद में तो लेबलिंग करना ही पड़ेगा, वरना मॉडल हाउ मॉडल विल प्रेडिक्ट दिस इज अ डॉग, दिस इज अ कैट, बिकॉज समबडी शुड बी, मतलब हमें लेबल तो देना ही पड़ेगा ना सर मैडम लास्ट में।
ऑफ कोर्स आपको लेबल देना ही पड़ेगा। अगर
Yeah.
आपने एक क्लस्टर बना लिया है, सो यू नो दैट व्हेन देयर इज अ न्यू डेटा, राइट, तो आप कैसे करते हो उसको, मैं आपको अगर आप एक ग्राफ पे देखोगे, so you have got a lot of clusters, right? When the new data comes into picture, so what will happen that the same things which you have applied on the training data, the same things you will apply on the testing data, correct? And you will have a point on the graph, okay? If you consider it a 2D graph, then you will have a point on the graph, right? So when you have that point, no, then you can just see that which cluster is the most closest to that point, and then you can label it to that cluster. Matlab, now you know that this data point which has come is belongs to the x cluster, correct? So
Yeah,
that is how you put it.
yeah, because based on the like their relationship, their pattern, their
Yeah.
nature, their all those things, we are making clustering, and after the clustering we have to send someone to verify like this is the same type of pattern, so we have to give some label.
Yeah, so you
Right.
have to give that label, no?
वो
Of
लेवलिंग
course.
वो लेवलिंग कैसे होता है मैडम, लाइक जैसे हम लोग जनरली जब हम काफी सारा जब मतलब हम जी कोई कुछ इंटरनेट पे कुछ करते हैं तो हमें पूछा जाता है, मतलब काफी टाइम बोला जाता है ये बाइसिकल है, बाइसिकल को आपको चूज करना है, जैसे स्ट्रीट लाइट को आपको चूज करना है, तो डेट वे लेबलिंग इज हैपनिंग। और इतने
आप मुझे बताइए व्हेन हाउ डज नेटफ्लिक्स कम अप विद दिस, अगर आप सोचने जाओगे, सो दे आल्सो यूज एआई, राइट? हाउ डू दे यूज इट? सो व्हाट दे डू, like they have got an Indian audience, and they do this based on the location also. They based on the cultures, and a lot of factors. So if you see that when it comes to India, you will see that the recommendations will be related to Bollywood and things like that, right? So what it basically does is कि बहुत सारे लोग इसको पसंद करते हैं. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So matlab, this area, if you're living in Maharashtra, right? So there are like a lot of people, Marathi people, who like Marathi content, right? The same thing YouTube will do, the same thing Google will do. Everybody does that. So what they do, this is the example I'm taking for location. So what they'll do, these area have got this kind of interest, be it Marathi, cinema or something like that. So that is what we want. That is the end output for us, right? हम क्या करेंगे उसको लेबल करके, हमको करना क्या है? We want the data. Basically, we are craving for the data. So once we get that, वही तो problem है ना हमारे लिए, मतलब we have the solution.
Okay, so everyone, I think we are done for today, and we will continue tomorrow. I thank a lot Jana for giving the time, taking out the time from her busy schedule. That is really very much appreciable. And Jana, you have very nicely explained the things. I'm really grateful for that. And probably in future, if you can also give the guidance whenever it is required,
Sure,
probably we'll
sure.
come back to you, and then we can you can guide these people, right?
Sure, sir. Anytime.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, Janab, and thanks everyone.
Jana madam, I have one small question.
Sure.
Because you are working in TCS, so you have shared only 5 to 6 questions, which is commonly asked in the interviews, right? So can we get more question related to the interview process?
Sure. I will share that with you. You can connect with on LinkedIn. I do have some questions there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you want in-depth questions?
Yeah, in-depth question.
Yeah, sure.
So what I will do, I will share Janab's LinkedIn profile with all of you. you
Yeah.
can connect with her. But the questions I will take with Jenny, because I have to share with each and everyone, because everyone needs that one, right? So
Yeah.
that questions I will collect. But anyway, if you anybody is free to connect with anyone for the networking or for any professional gain, that is fine for me. Okay, so
Yeah.
I will share the profile.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody has anything else? Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, good night. Good night. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
मैम
Thank-
आपका
thank
ये
you.
जैनब नोमी सिस्टम
Thank you.
इंजीनियर कंसल्टेंट सर्विसेज
Yeah.
यस
And
I
sir,
have invited. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
fine.
sir,
Okay,
thank you for
thanks.
the review.
Particular.
I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Fine, Gaurav.
Yeah, Jana madam, one small question.
Yeah.
How domain knowledge is playing important role in interview, particular in a TCS like company? Because TCS is basically more into the software development or like consultancy type of things. Like
Hmm.
so like banking people have a different type of experience. Basically, I'm asking for experienced people. Like
Yeah.
so, domain knowledge is what kind of domain experience is required basically for TCS jobs?
Are you joining as a freshers? See, when you are joining as a fresher, they have got two types of. I think you must be aware, right? Two profiles. They've got associate and systems engineer. So the questions. Basically, for me, they asked a lot of machine learning questions and all that. But for some people, it's very vague, to be honest. In case of TCS, it's very vague. For some of my friends, they had like completely different set of questions. They had only DSA. They had only they had to solve some people had to solve questions in front of them. So there's no one way. It just depends on the interviewer. And for some people, the interviewers were very good. Some people said that the interviewers were like not very welcoming. So it just depends, because it's like 5 lakh employees, right? So you can't expect everybody to think in a way. So I think there's no one way. I would just suggest that
Right.
when you are in an interview, just you know just keep in mind that the interviewer is not your enemy. Okay, they also want to hire you. You need them, they need you. That's the thing. So once you keep this in mind, it's not very difficult, because they will ask questions. You have to be composed. You have to be in a state that okay, I can take my time. Okay, I have to think about it. I will just take my time, like that. So I think you'll be good.
Okay, sir. Oh, okay, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, Devendra, you have some more questions?
So basically, madam, one last question, because in TCS, they are prefer freshers or they are prefer experience, or maybe from the reference, because I got some information like TCS hiring more from the reference of their existing employee. How exactly?
Frankly, I am not sure how they hire. Like they take a lot of freshers also. I think in our batch they took around 25. They hired 25,000 employees. We heard about in the news and everything. So I don't think there's a specific way of them hiring. It's just that you need to have those skills. And in TCS, it's like the facts that in some cases they will give you a very good development work. So in my case, Touchwood, I've got the development part, and I'm very satisfied with the amount of skills that I'm gaining working there. But for some people, it's not a very good experience. So as I said earlier, it's a 5 lakh employee company. You cannot expect everybody to be the same. They will have different experiences, and they will have their own way of approaching things. So it's very vague, to be honest.
Okay. Or suppose somebody wants to apply TCS. So their HR team prefer their career portal, or they are hiring from some consultancies.
I
How
think
they are approaching
they
to
prefer from
candidate?
the career portal. They do have a career portal. I think you must be knowing about that. They have got next step, TCS next step. So
TCS
from
next
there,
step. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
you have to create a profile there, and you have to upload your resume and things like that.
Okay, so we can see the openings also on their career portal. What kind of
Openings they have, like as far as I know, from for freshers they've got associate software system engineer and system engineer, and then once you are hired, then you get software developer, or whatever software engineer kind of things. So I think for freshers that's all I know. For experienced personnel, I am not sure. If you want, I can read a bit about it and then let you know if you really
Yeah,
want.
yeah. So we our all colleagues can know better, like how they can apply, because many times,
Application,
yeah.
I would suggest that you go to TCS next step, because that's the most convenient way, and it's more like, I don't think they hire any, because it's a consultancy services themselves, so they are not going to hire somebody to hire people for them, right?
Okay, okay. Mhm. Okay.
Devendra, actually, I have some senior people in my network who are working with TCS. They are into this data science, machine learning domain. I will check with them, and it is good that you mentioned. And earlier, I had in mind that I have to connect with them, but since you have discussed this thing, tomorrow I will check with them that
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
Because anyway, we have to start that process to send CVs to various companies for you people. So TCS is one of them. I have some connects. I will check with them. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, like sir, like TCS and like some like major company related to data science hiring. If we know the JD part, job description part, and their how we can apply for the job, that will helpful for everyone.
See, Devendra, at this
So,
moment, we should not think it should be TCS or any company. This time we should be focused on the knowledge. So sometimes small companies also have very good projects. Okay,
Okay.
so anybody, not only for you, for anybody, we should focus that how we can utilize our learning, how we can refine our learning. We should have a company where we can like have this kind of environment where like we can learn more, we can like do more things and explore more things in machine learning, deep learning. That should be the major motive. But anyway, if a big company is coming, that is always like everybody's dream is to go to a big company. That is there. But I want to convey that small company also have good opportunities. And I think the starter company, they can offer you much better than probably these companies. That is also one of the scenario. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Correct, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think for today it is done. I guess we can continue. If there are more questions, we can continue for next time. Okay, so thanks everyone. Thanks for your time, and
Excuse me, sir. I have
thanks
last.
again, Janet. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we continue tomorrow.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.